Hello and welcome to this new video tutorial of Magento 2 point of sale plugin. And in today's video tutorial, we'll be showing you the backend configuration settings that are required for this particular plugin. So after the admin has installed this particular plugin, the admin needs to configure certain options within the backend first so as to make use of the point of sale system. So before we proceed further, let me give you a small gist of this particular module. Basically, this module would allow the web store owner uh, to have a complete web-based point of sale solution for managing multiple physical stores or the retail outlets at the different locations. Now, each outlet that has been created will be having its own separate inventory source, and this depends upon the location of the physical stores. So depending upon the location of the physical stores, the admin would be able to create the different sources for each of those POS locations or the outlets, and can assign particular products to each so as to maintain the inventory. So let's get in and let's see first how the different options can be configured, and in the next video I'll be showing you the workflow of this particular point of sale system at the web store front end, how the cashiers would be able to make use of the same. So first let me take you to the admin backend panel. So I've already logged into my admin backend panel, and after the installation of this particular module, the admin can see this POS option, and under the POS option we have different submenu options that are required for the configuration of this particular module. So here the admin will be able to add and manage the outlets, add and manage the cashiers, check the POS orders that have been placed at the different locations or at the different POS physical outlets. And apart from that, the admin can set up the POS configuration before making use of the plugin, and can also manage the receipt and can add the logo for each of the receipts that would be printed out at the different physical locations. So let's go to the POS configuration panel first. So let me open that up first. We are at the configuration page, as you can see, and here we have the POS configuration options as well. So under the web tool block, you'll find the POS configuration panel, and here we have 4 different options that we need to configure. So let me go through each of them one by one. So the very first one is to enable the offline mode. So here the admin can give the cashiers the privilege to do the transactions in an offline mode by enabling this option. So if you have selected this as a no, then the cashiers won't be able to what we say as do the transactions in the offline mode at the POS terminals. So we'll select this option as a yes. Then we have product page load size. Basically here the admin would be able to set up the number of products to load while the POS is being initialized at the POS outlet for the cashiers. So whenever the cashier logs in, the product page load size that has been set by the admin here, according to that, the products would be loaded at the time of POS initialization. Then we have enable cashier single login. So if the admin wants, he can enable the single cashier login by selecting a yes. Otherwise he can choose a no in case he wants to allow multiple logins. So if you've chosen this as a yes, then the cashier would be able to have multiple logins, so he can log in at multiple times. And lastly we have the option that is choose attribute for the barcode. Basically here you can select the attribute for the barcode which would be used for the scanning of the products using the barcode. So we have selected this as a SKU. So the cashiers would now be able to what we say as choose the product attribute for the barcode scanning. So the SKU would be used for the same. So these are the 4 options for the POS configuration, and after that we need to navigate to POS, and under that we have manage receipt section. So let me show you the manage receipt section. So basically here the admin would be able to set up the logo that would be used to display on the printed invoice slips at the POS locations, and we have already added one with a receipt logo here, as you can see. And to add a new one, you can tap the add receipt button. Let me open that up in another window. And apart from it, you can also see the preview of this particular receipt, how this would appear at the POS terminals. So first let me tap the add receipt button and let me show you what different options are there to add a new receipt. And here you can enable or disable the particular receipt. You can set up the title for the receipt. You can also display the outlet name within the receipt, and you can choose a yes or no for that. You can also display the date, the order ID, and you can also set up if the order ID is not there, you can set up the order ID label that would be printed on the receipt. You can also display the customer name, you can display the complete subtotal, you can display the discount, you can display the tax, display credit amount, display the change amount, the cashier name. You can also display the outlet address. Apart from that, you can add the receipt logo, and you can also enable or disable to display the particular receipt logo. You can set the logo width, height, and the alt. Apart from that, you can set up the header content if you want, and you can also set up the footer content for the particular receipt. So that was how you can set up a receipt, and you can also manage all of the receipts that you've created under the manage POS receipt section here. And let me tap on the preview receipt. So here is how the receipt would be visible, that can be given to the customers and the POS outlets. So now let me take you back to the basically the dashboard. So here we can manage the outlets, the cashier, we can check the POS orders, and manage receipt section. I've already told you how we can manage the receipts. So before adding a new outlet, what the admin needs to do, he needs to navigate through stores, and then under the inventory we have the sources and the stock. So we'll open the sources. So here we'll be creating the different sources for our multiple POS outlets or the physical stores, and each of the physical stores would be having their own what we say as the source. So whenever any product is being purchased from that particular source that has been assigned to the particular outlet, the deduction would be done from that itself. So let me take you to the manage sources. So here we have already added two sources. One is for California, the other one is for the New York store, and we have the default source as well, that's for the web store. So to add a new source, you can tap the add new source button here. So I'll just show you what different options are there to add a new source. So tap on the add new source button, and this brings up the section where new source can be created. You can set up the name of the source, its code, whether you want to enable it or disable it. You can set up the description, the latitude, longitude for this particular outlet or the for the source. You can set up the contact info for the source. You can also add the address data for this particular source. So after you've created a source, that source would be visible under the manage sources section here. So now we have already created the sources. We have the California one, the New York one. So I have a website or the web store, and I sell online. Now I have two different outlets, one is in California, one is in New York. So I'll create the California source, then the New York source, so that all of the inventory is deducted from each of the respective sources that we have created whenever the customers are purchasing from the California or the New York outlets. So this was how we can manage the sources. Now we will get back to the POS section, and now we can manage the outlets. So after we have created the sources, we'll go to the manage outlet section, and here we can find the complete list of the outlets that the admin has created. So for example, we have added two outlets here. One is the Numa outlet and the Croc outlet. You can add a new outlet. Let me tap that up, and let me show you what different options are there for the same. So here you can enter the name of the outlet. You can select the source. Now from the drop down, we can select the source that we have created for our particular physical outlet. So I can choose the California source for the California outlet or the physical store that we have at California. And similarly, if we are creating another outlet for the New York region, then we can assign the New York source to this particular outlet. So you can also set up the product assignment basis. You can choose like the category based. If you choose category based, then you need to select the categories that would be set for this particular outlet. Otherwise, you can choose all products, so as the all products are assigned to this particular outlet. Apart from that, you can set the default customer. You can set up the address for the outlet, and you can enable or disable this particular outlet. For the associate category products, you can choose the category from here that you want to assign. If you have selected the category based option here, you can also choose the associated products for this particular outlet. You can set the default customer and the address for this particular outlet, and you can also manage the receipt for this particular outlet by choosing the one that you've already created under the manage receipt section. So all of the receipts that you created under the manage receipts would be here for selection depending upon the region for which you are creating your outlet, and similarly for that outlet you can select a source and the particular receipt template as well. And thereafter you can tap the save and continue edit button, and that would save your particular POS outlet. So that was how we can what we say is add the outlets from the admin backend panel. So after that we can also add and manage the cashiers. Let me open that up. So basically under this section, the store admin would be able to add new cashiers for each of the outlets that the admin has created. So we've already added one. Let me tap on the add new cashier button to show you what different options are there that need to be set up for creating a new cashier for each of the outlets that we have created. So here we can add the cashier details for the new cashier. We can upload an image for him, enter the first name, last name, his email address, contact number, password. We can set up actually where we want to assign this particular cashier. So under the outlet section we can choose the outlet for which this particular cashier would be assigned. We can choose the Crocs outlet or the Luma outlet, or depending upon the number of outlets that you have created, we can enable or disable this particular cashier, and we can tap the save and continue button as well. So whenever a new cashier is created, an email is sent out to the cashier and he will get his username and password for logging into the POS panel at the POS outlet. So that was how we can add and manage outlets and manage the cashiers. And under the POS Auto section, and before we go to the POS Auto section, here you can see we have an actions drop down, so we can delete, disable and enable the cashiers from here. And we can also filter the cashiers according to the cashier name, his email address, the status, whether he's enabled or disabled, and we can also filter it according to is logged in or not logged in. So now let me take you to the POS orders section. Here the admin would be able to see all of the POS orders that have been placed within the physical outlets. It doesn't need to have only a single one. If you have multiple ones, then all of the orders would be displayed here under this section, and with the what we say as the outlet name, with the cashier name, and we can also view the orders for each of the particular outlets that we have created, and the admin can also check the order ID. For example, if I tap on the view order button for this particular order ID, that's for 30 Luma outlet, and the cashier name is John Doe, then I'll be able to see this particular order detail completely. So here you can see the order details are visible here. The information is here for this particular order. Let me show you how you can assign the products to the outlet. So you can navigate to catalog and then products. So here you can add a new product and then assign it to the respective outlet. Otherwise, if you already have what we say as the product that has been created, then you can basically tap on the edit button under the actions column, and that will bring up the edit product page. And on the edit product page, we just need to navigate to the section that is sources. As you can see here, we have the sources option here. So from here we can assign the sources. So we have assigned this particular product to the New York source, to the California source as well, and it's already there within the default source. So you can set the source item status as in stock or out of stock, and you can set the quantity for each of the sources. For New York, we have set the quantity as 100 units, and for California source, we have set the stock status as 100. So whenever this just duffel bag gets purchased within the outlet or the physical store that's in the New York one, having the New York source, then the quantity would be decreased from this particular stock itself and not from the web store quantity. So that was how we can add the or assign the products to the what we say as to the sources. So this is also an important point that needs to be done by the admin. So that was much about the Magento 2 point of sale configuration from the admin backend panel, and I hope that this video helped you out. And if you have any questions or queries regarding this plugin, you can always get back to us at support@webcool.com, or you may raise a ticket at webcool.ubdesk.com. Thanks for watching this video and have a great day ahead.